5.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome into Talk Football with Coach K. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K. And Coach, busy day to talk about coming off of the weekend. Obviously, some interesting lists to take a look at here on the show today. We've got a couple of different ones that are, when we get to this time of year, people start kind of trying to prognosticate and look ahead to what we could possibly see as far as MVPs or people that get big contracts. And that's a couple of the lists we're going to look at is the top NFL candidates for MVP for the 2019 season. Coach, we're also going to be taking a look at a situation of guys that could possibly be taking a look at getting a big contract extension this upcoming summer as well, or next summer, I should say, after the 2019 season. So, Coach, we're going to be taking a list at those names as well. A couple of those are names that are followed big time here in this area of the country. But, Coach, I want to start it off with college football here as the state of Tennessee is set to honor Peyton Manning. It looks like David Cutcliffe and, of course, Lawson as well. So they're going to be honoring several of their top, people that are tied to their athletics, whether it's Carol Lawson or Cutcliffe or, of course, Peyton Manning. And, Coach, it's one thing that Tennessee has always been about, and they are very big on their tradition there in Knoxville, Coach, and that's being able to kind of go back to the past and honoring them. You've got the basketball arena is named after Pat Summitt, and now this, Coach, and you've got obviously you got Neyland Stadium there as well. So this is a big part of Tennessee's culture as far as their athletic department of honoring the people that helped build that athletic department to what it is today.
Well, absolutely, and I'm sure people around here, there are a lot of people around here that don't realize just how much tradition they do have at Tennessee, going back to General Neyland after he came back from the war. He really instilled a great football program there at Tennessee. In fact, that was the that was the big game every year was between Tennessee and Alabama. That was the biggest game in the SEC for years, General Neyland against Bear Bryant. But they do have a lot of tradition. They've got great facilities, they got great fans, and they've got a lot of money behind that program. So not that familiar. People around here are familiar with the Florida-Tennessee games of the recent past, but not really going back to the great single-winning teams of Tennessee tradition.
Oh, you are absolutely right on that, Coach. And keeping it with the Tennessee Volunteer Football Program, some tough news for them over the last few days as Melvin McBride, who is a freshman offensive lineman, was expected to come in and be a key impact offensive lineman for this Vols team in the future moving forward. He announced over Twitter that he is going to have to leave the game of football for medical reasons. So it's a tough situation for the Vols as they're going to lose an offensive lineman that would have really given them some depth there in Knoxville. But, Coach, they're going to look at this situation as it's a glass half full type of thing. It's great that he was able to find his medical condition and begin the treatments and begin getting the help for it right away. And it's going to be a loss for him that he can't play football anymore. This is a game he grew up playing. But again, at the end of the day, Coach, your health is a lot more important than a game.
Well, that's true, and unfortunately for Tennessee, they can't afford to lose too many good players. They just they don't have access to them, and it's tough to recruit them. So when they lose one, it's a double hit, really. And I feel sorry for the kid. I feel more sorry for him than I do the Tennessee Vols. But in addition to his unfortunate situation, it is doubly unfortunate for Tennessee as well.
All right, Coach, and it looks like we have another former coach coming back to be a part of a powerhouse program. We've seen this happen several times. Coach, it looks like Terry Bowden will be heading back to Clemson's staff as an intern, and he's going to be assisting with the unpaid interns and kind of keeping them on the right track and everything like that. So it looks like Terry Bowden's coming back to the Clemson program, or back to college football as part of the Clemson program, and he's going to be the guy that kind of keeps those graduate assistant coaches and the interns in line and in check, and he's going to be in charge of that division.
You know, I heard something about that. I don't know how that's going to work. To be honest with you, I don't really see a great fit. Maybe it will. I don't know that it's a good thing for Bowden, and I don't know that it's a good thing for Clemson. But hopefully it works out for them. I think what they're probably trying to do at Clemson is give Terry an entree back into the South. You know, he's been up at Akron, was it Akron or Toledo, one of the schools up there, and give him an entree of sorts back into this part of the country. Having said he can now that's on his resume that he's worked with Clemson for a year. But I don't know how much that's going to help at his age and all the other things going on. So we'll see what happens with it. But I don't see a great future for that relationship.
Coach, you mentioned that he coached at Auburn and Akron. He also coached at Samford, Salem College, North Alabama as well. So, Coach, all of those seasons, and he did go 47-17 his time at Auburn, including that 11-0 season in 1993. All right, Coach, let's move on to some of these lists I teased at the top of the show, and we're going to start off with this MVP one because there's some interesting names on this list that I really want to see what you think of this list, Coach. And it's on Sports Illustrated, it's on NFL.com's website, and it's an Adam Sheen post, and he's talking about the 2019 players that could be the MVPs for the 2019 season. Now, again, we want to say this is just pure speculation. This is just opinionated. This is in no way, shape, or form a guaranteed deal, because obviously, so many things can happen, especially this time of the year. It just, you get stories like this, you get lists like this. You're going to see in a couple of weeks, you're going to get a Heisman Trophy favorite list for college football. You just see things like this pop up this time of year. So, Coach, let's go ahead and get this started. He's going to start this off kind of low-hanging fruit for this one on number one. He goes with Patrick Mahomes, the reigning MVP from the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think he's going to have a good year. Do I think he's going to be the MVP again? I don't know. I would think there are other people in better shape.
Now, Coach, this is one that really intrigues me because we talked a little bit about this guy last week. He's a guy that's actually limiting his reps throughout the summer and the fall to be in better shape and kind of stay a little healthier during the season because he's getting up there in age. Coach, his second pick for the MVP for the 2019 season, Phillip Rivers from the LA Chargers.
That's an unusual pick. I don't know that Rivers has enough around him to become an MVP. He's certainly one that you would consider, but I can't see him being the second one you'd put on a list for MVP. One is because the division that they're in and their defense has got to do a heck of a job for you as well. So I don't know. That'd be a little tough. I wouldn't see him being the second one I'd put on the list.
All right, Coach. The next coming up at number 3 on this list, we've got Baker Mayfield, the quarterback from the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, you've got to look at this. He's a talented player. I'm not going to say he's not, but at the same time, you've got to think that a guy named Odell Beckham Jr. and a couple of other pieces that they brought in this offseason is a big reason as to why they think that Baker Mayfield could be the MVP for the 2019 season.
Well, I have to say that just like with Mahomes, they're a little young, and you've got that sophomore jinx, as they call it, that you've got to overcome, and I think they'll be able to do that. But whether I would have them, they just wouldn't be at the top of my list. I mean, we're going down a list here. To me, that's a little far-fetched right now. Those three.
All right, Coach. And next one on the list, normally I would say brings it a little bit back down to reality and is a candidate that you could legitimately see being an MVP inside the NFL. And Coach, he's got the talent level. He's a good quarterback, but he doesn't have, again, going back to exactly what we said about Phillip Rivers, not enough around him, especially with the way that they could have helped him in the draft, but they didn't. And Coach, that's Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers sitting there at number 4.
Yeah, he's a possibility, certainly a good possibility. I understand that he's now made public his desire to have more autonomy at the line of scrimmage. He wants to do more, call more, make more decisions at the line. Now, I don't know where that goes. Sounds to me that there may be a crack in the a crack in the structure of their organization there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He's probably capable of doing it, and he's certainly capable of being the most valuable player.
All right, Coach. And next on the list is a guy that, if we were putting together a list of top 5 candidates for MVP for the 2019 season, Coach, he would either, if he wasn't at 1, he would be at either 2 or 3. That's Andrew Luck, the quarterback from the Indianapolis Colts.
I agree with that one. I can give you my top 5 right now, and he would be in the top 5. You're right, absolutely.
All right, Coach. And now this next one is one I have a problem with. Carson Wentz, the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He has a quality talent inside the NFL. But, Coach, this guy has suffered season-ending injuries the last 2 seasons. And you're taking a guy that has not been healthy the last 2 years inside the NFL. And I think people almost look at the success that the Eagles have had, whether it was last year in the postseason or the year before where they go on to win the Super Bowl. That was more so Nick Foles than Carson Wentz, and I think a lot of people kind of put that success they had on Carson Wentz, even though he did go down with an injury both years for the entire year. So, Coach, I'm going to pump the brakes and slow down a little bit on the Carson Wentz talk because we have to see him play a full year with this Eagles team before we can really give him any kind of praise.
I agree. I think you're also looking at a drastic experience difference in potential candidates here, and I won't say any more than that right now. But yeah, I know I would agree with you.
All right, Coach. And then coming up at 7 here on this list, and this is an interesting one because this is a guy that's the past couple of years he's been known for what he's done off the field and on the field, but Ezekiel Elliott, the running back out of the Dallas Cowboys.
No, I wouldn't have him on there. Well, too many things can happen with the running back number 1 and number 2. I don't know that he's proven himself capable of being a most valuable player when he's had so many off-field problems as well.
All right, Coach. Coming up at number 8, we've got Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle out of Los Angeles with the Rams. Coach, this is a guy that was in the conversation this past season. He's going to be the anchor of that defensive line there in L.A. for the Rams. So, Coach, if he has a great year, you expect a guy like that to be in the conversation once again.
I think he'll be in the conversation. He could well be. Now, keep in mind, they're going to do a better job with him this year offensively. They'll have a more varied approach up front with their offensive lines on him, and they'll utilize their backs more on him. They'll bring tight ends in there, so he's going to see a lot of different maneuvers this year that he did not see last year. I predict, but I still think he's such a heck of a football player that he could overcome a lot of that and still be in the hunt for MVP.
All right, Coach. And the final player on this list, I actually like this player a lot because this is a guy that in his 2 seasons in the NFL, he has really kind of made a name for himself, and he's caught a lot of people's eye and attention. But he's been sharing the carries with another running back, Coach, and it's Alvin Kamara, the running back out of New Orleans. No Mark Ingram this year, so it's going to fall all on him. He's going to get the entire spotlight instead of having to share it. And, Coach, I'm excited to see what Alvin Kamara can do in New Orleans.
Well, it will be interesting. Now, keep in mind, he didn't play that much in college.
Right.
And now he's going to be playing more than he ever has at a higher, more demanding level than he's ever been on. So I think this could be a shock to him as you get, especially as I say, when I say a shock, I'm talking about as you get later in the season. and all that starts wearing on you, and all those games that you are not used to playing. It's it'll be he's certainly a candidate, but I don't see him being high on the list.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll tell you what, on that note, we'll take our final time out of the show. When we come back, we'll have more Talk Football with Coach K coming up next right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Pros do it right by relying on trusted brands every day because your reputation depends on it. Lowe's is here to help by stocking more of those brands and at great savings too. Like 20% off in-stock GAF or Owens Corning shingles every day when you purchase by the pallet. And we now offer the Little Giant King Combo Ladder, the world's first step, extension, and leaning ladder, giving you the flexibility to do just about any job for only $159. For your next job and every job after, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Selection varies by location, U.S. only.
At Indeed, we understand that when it comes to hiring, it's important to have a large talent pool to choose from. But sometimes too many good options can be overwhelming. That's why Indeed doesn't just give you access to a large pool of job seekers. We also offer screener tools that let you instantly narrow down your search. Hone in on hiring with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. If you're tailgating before the game, don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome into Talk Football with Coach K. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K. And Coach, we are joined by a special guest here on the show. I will turn it over to you and let you do the introduction.
Well, we are for sure, and it's Jack Youngblood, the great All-Pro and certainly College Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, and All-Pro, All-American in college. Saw here recently where he was voted the 5th greatest player to ever play at the University of Florida, which is quite a tribute. I do have one little thing to talk to him about on Florida, though, that I think he got wrong. And I also want to ask him about a couple of other teams that they had there. But, Jack, to start off with, my friend, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to come on with us.
Anytime, Coach. You know that. It's always fun.
Well, listen, let me start by going back here a little bit. I saw something where you said that Dr. Cade started the Gatorade when you guys were there. Now, that was 1969, right?
68, 69, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, you're wrong there. But he started that. He and Jim Cunningham started that when I was there. I think my sophomore or junior year, which was quite a few years before that, and it was awful to say the least. We were forced to drink it at water breaks, so they could get a reading on it. But my gosh, everybody hated. We were the only football team in America that hated water breaks.
It's a good story here. We're having a scrimmage, and of course they'd bring it out in cans. They would can it and put it in a number 10 wash tub, and ice it down, and we'd be on the sidelines, and we'd come off having a little scrimmage, and Mike Kelly, who was our middle linebacker at the time, bless his heart, he runs over and grabs a can and starts chugging it, and he fell over backwards, and we're all watching this, going, "Oh my gosh, what happened to him?" he fainted on the sideline, and we're all looking at that can, going, "Oh hell no, I'm not drinking that. That's for sure." Oh
yeah.
my goodness! It's amazing what that product has come to over the course of the years. It was geniuses, who produced it, and it was we were certainly, starting with you guys, we were certainly the guinea pigs there.
We were the guinea pigs, I can promise you. In fact, Coach Graves always had two coaches over there to handle the drill, the water breaks, forcing people to drink it, make sure people didn't drink, take a sip, and spit it out. You'd have to run laps or go to the stadium early in the morning if you did that. So it was they had to get it done. Finally, they learned how to put a little different flavor in there, but it was awful. It was like drinking salt water. But anyway, talking about the Gator teams, that '69 team had to be, Jack, had to be one of the great experiences. I mean, I never forget that you guys opened up with Houston, I think, and Houston was like number 1 in the country or number 2, and I think beat them 50 something to nothing. Just whopped them. Reeves had a great day throwing the ball, and you guys jumped all over him, went on and had a great season, and won the Gator Bowl for Coach Graves, his last game down there.
That's right. I remember we were excited about it because we had, A&M wasn't we'd never, played them against them. It wasn't part of the regular schedule. And yeah, they were ranked number 1. And I can remember Saturday morning having a meeting in the stadium there, and we walked out about the time that they were going to come on the field. They were getting ready and warming up and that type of thing, and they came out by the droves. They must have brought 150 kids, and we're thinking to ourselves. I can remember talking to Kelly and Pilcher and some of the boys. I'm going, damn. They're going to overwhelm us with numbers.
Yeah.
But that was a real moment for our football team, that we believed in ourselves, and that we had never, had been. It was the first ball game, so we didn't know exactly how good we could be, and it turned out that we that had a lot of potential, for our success during that season.
Yeah, you guys had a great season. You had many great games and seasons over your career, Jack, as anybody would certainly notice. Let me just go through a couple of things here. I know the game, the Super Bowl that you played, you had a broken leg, and you made it through. And I'm sure you hear about that quite often when you're quizzed by anybody. But you just made up your mind that you were gonna get it done, which is something everybody should take heed of.
Well, Coach, you know my attitude about playing the game, and being the captain of the football team, and I broke it in the first playoff game against Dallas, and then we had to play the Buccaneers for the championship game, and that put us into 14. And I was not about to let my football team down. If I could go play, and it really was unique from the standpoint that Malavasi, who was the head coach at that time, Malavasi put enough trust in me that I was not going to hurt that football team. If I couldn't play, if I couldn't get the job done, I would take myself out of the ballgame. And so we went and played it, and it was we came close. We 6 minutes left to go in the ball game. It was 19-13.
Yeah.
So so we it was quite an experience.
I'll tell you, I think about Malavasi quite often. Because we used to call him Malfunction.
Yeah, there were moments there.
Oh boy, I'll tell you. But he was a good football coach. He just other things just came a little more difficult. But anyway, going back to your career here, Jack, and I wanted to go through that first, and then we'll come back up here to today's football. But I saw, I know that you had a couple of movies that you did. I never did go to see your movies because I don't go to see movies, so I missed them. But what were the name of those movies? Cat movies?
Cat Squad.
Cat Squad.
Cat Squad. We were special agents, and they were supposed to be, about us and doing all kind of special things, and shooting people and all kind of stuff. I mean, it was, and being in that environment in California, it was something that I wanted to try, and didn't get the opportunity. I did several things on film, but it just didn't fit. I didn't fit into their lifestyle, and the one thing I've missed, and I've looked back on it in years past, if I'd have hooked up with some of the Cowboys, John Wayne, and that bunch, I would have enjoyed that, because that's that was country boy come to town.
Yeah, well, oddly enough, I saw where you were referred to as John Wayne of football. Did you know that?
Yeah, that was who was the writer there?
Can't remember now.
For the LA Times, I can't either. But yeah, he put that in the newspaper one day, and I caught some trouble over that one now.
Yeah, I bet you did. I'll tell you one of the great stories, going back to you, and when I was there at Los Angeles with the Rams on the coaching staff. And we're getting ready for the first game of the year. And we were playing Atlanta in Atlanta. And you and Freddie Dryer showed there are two defensive ends. And I think Freddie Dryer maybe weighed 225 pounds soaking wet. And you had lost all that weight. You were down to about 230, if I remember, 232 or whatever. Anyway, we had two lightweights at the defensive end there. And Chuck he couldn't believe it. I think he put you on a diet to gain weight there very quickly, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. We had two lightweights out there at defensive ends, and Chuck said, "That gummit," he said, "Youngblood, let Dry talk him into that getting that Hollywood body," and said, "We got to fix that."
we did. Freddie was just naturally 220, 225.
Yeah.
And I was, I was playing the year before. I was playing it, at 45, 50 at start of the ball games. And so in that off season, I trimmed it down, got around 225, and we were basing that on quickness. It was more important than mass, and so we proved ourselves wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we put on. We went to the donut shop from that point on.
Okay, I hear you. Well, Freddie was not going to do too much of that. He had all those crazy drinks, fruit juices, and all that he had in that van he had out there. His hippie van, I called it. And then he had
right.
Then he had the TV show where I think it was Hunter, was it? For years.
Hunter.
Yeah,
right.
Hunter. That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good series, good show. I wonder what happened.
And we watched it. Okay, we watched it not because of Freddie, because of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
We used to tell him that all the time, and he didn't like that so much.
No, he didn't kid around too much. He liked to pull something on somebody else, but he didn't like it coming his way too much. But anyway,
right.
those are all good memories. And listen, I want to jump on one thing here before and I'm going to ask you to hang on while we take a quick break. But
good deal.
If you can hang on, we'll go ahead and take the break now, and we'll be back 2 or 3 minutes. Okay?
Good deal.
Thank you, Jack.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. ESPN Pensacola has you covered from the national and local levels. From Golick and Wingo to the Sports Drive, the Paul Feinbaum Show to Talk Football with Coach K, we have it all. It's the latest and best in sports talk radio, making us Pensacola's hometown sports network. ESPN Pensacola 945, also on HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming online at our website at ESPNpensacola.com.
Who would have thought? Who would have guessed? An energy company helping cars emit less. Making cars lighter is a good place to start. Advanced oils for those hard-working parts. Fuels that go further so drivers pump less. At ExxonMobil, it's what we do best. Efficiency is our driving ambition. It's full speed ahead, to produce fewer emissions. Explore more about unexpected energy sources at energyfactor.com. Energy lives here.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Nothing's worse than heat-trapping sheets that make it impossible to get to sleep. That's why you need Sheets. Sheets breathe 10 times better than traditional cotton sheets to keep you cool. They wick away moisture 3 times more than traditional cotton sheets to keep you dry, ensuring a deeper, more restorative night's sleep. Visit trysheets.com/Stephen A to get 25% off your purchase plus shipping, a bonus pair of pillowcases, and a 30-night risk-free guarantee. That's TrySheex.com/Stephen A.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome back into Talk Football with Coach K. At this point in time, I'll turn it back over to Coach K and let him continue the interview we were having with Jack Youngblood.
Okay, Jack, again, appreciate you staying on, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And I know too that your time is you got grandpa time you're having to do now, which you love, I'm sure. But
it's another world. It's a new world for me.
I hear you. But they're wonderful. Listen, I want to jump into what do you hear, Jack? I know you talk to people down there from time to time, and you hear things that maybe some of us up this way don't hear. But what do you hear going on in Gatorland right now with the Gators?
We made a mistake several years ago when we let Dan get away, and we finally made the right move and put him back in the position that he belongs, being head coach there. And what I see and what I hear is that Dan realizes that character counts, not just athleticism, but character also. And he's had to, that's cleaning that stuff up down there, is a tough road to go on. If the character's not there, how do you trust them? And you know that from being a head coach. How do you trust somebody who you're not sure if he's going to do the job, the best of his ability on every snap and play 60 snaps a ball game? It's almost impossible to do. So I think he's doing a tremendous job there. And from what I've seen a little bit, I haven't followed it like I should, but I think he's got some talent in this new crew that's coming in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's done a heck of a job, and I didn't think they had a quarterback at all, and he came through the last 4 games of the year last year and really made some progress with their quarterback situation. And he had some cleanup to do down there. Everybody thought that he was left with quite a bit of talent. He wasn't. He had to do quite a bit with it. So I give him a lot of credit. I really do. And in fact, when you look at all of college football right now, I tend to think that maybe Jack, he did too good a job last year for himself. Sometimes when you overachieve that first year, too much is expected to come back in the second and third year. I still think it's going to take him a couple of years to get his recruiting classes together, get his total operation going before they really hit their big stride there.
I do too. I think you're dead on there, Coach. Yeah, he's cleaning it up, and we know he's got that offensive mind, and from what I understand, we've got some pretty good defensive players that we can depend on now. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and see what's really going on when they open up camp.
I wish you would, and we'd like to get you on when you go up and watch camp for a day or two, a couple of days. That would be some interesting insight. Also of interest here too, we're talking about old stories, and while we're talking about the Gators, I think it's an interesting story. When you went there, there's like a 195-pound 6'4" kid, and they had you on an offensive tackle, and you kept jumping and moving around. And Jimmy Haynes, who used to be coach here at Pensacola High, was the head freshman coach at the time, and Jim Benson, who is my brother-in-law, was helping out he was a graduate assistant, helping out with the offensive line. And, he's the one that said, "Hey, I think we got to move this guy to defense. He can't be still enough over there, can't discipline himself enough to play the offensive line. So he's jumping all over the place." So they moved you from offense to defense, which was a great move.
Yeah, I'd played both sides of the ball in high school, and was the center. And opening ball game in high school my senior year, which we went on and won the championship that year. I had like 5 holding calls in the first half, and I never will forget. My coach, he came up to me as we were going back on the field, and he goes, "Never mind the center stuff. You just play middle linebacker and do your job." And that was the last time that I was on offense.
Yeah.
and Jim saw and knew that, and he saw something in me that the other ones didn't, and I couldn't play offense. I mean, I got to hold on to somebody.
I hear you. Well, that was an interesting move right there, to say the least. Let me jump to the NFL real quick, and I know you're very unusual in many ways. Not only NFL Hall of Fame, but many years All Pro, the Pro Bowl, all the different achievements you had in the NFL. And they all came with one football team. You were able to stay with the Rams from the day you were drafted until you quit playing, which is very unusual. And with that came some loyalty on your part for the Rams, and I hope they've returned that to you for what you did for them. But at any rate, had a big year last year, big comeback year. And I guess you guys were had a little party going to the Super Bowl, huh?
Yeah, we did. It was exciting to have them back in, having our team back into the championship ball game, and we all were looking forward to a different result into what happened. And they're a young football team, and I think that they were just mentally overwhelmed by New England, and they certainly didn't perform like they had during the regular season. That's for sure. And I think that and I told several of the coaches, I said, just remember how this tastes. because you don't want this to happen again. I mean, correct the problems that you see, and go and create new game plans and new responsibilities for both your offense and your defense. I think they've got a chance to be in the hunt, from now on. For a couple of years at least.
I think you're right. But they're going to have. It's not going to just happen now because they went there before. They've got, like you say, they've got to do it. You know what? New England should be. They better get ready because New England laid out a blueprint for other teams playing them too, and that's great to have a lot of speed at those inside backers, and they can run all over the field and make tackles. But I mean, New England lined up like 1960 NFL football. They had a big fullback, tight end, and 2 receivers and 2 backs with a big fullback in there, and they went wham and lead and all of the different things that you don't see too often, even tackled. I mean, a tight end trap inside with those linemen, and it was just something they hadn't seen. It was old-fashioned football, get after him football, and those light linebackers, Jack, I think they're just too light in the pants to step in there and hold their own against the bigger that type football.
Yeah, they had not seen, like you said, they had not seen that kind of an approach to their defense. They really haven't, and they didn't know where to go. Basically, half the time, they didn't know that they were responsible for the A gap, and they got blocked. So I mean, and so therefore, New England is controlling the ball on them, most of the ball game.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it was a really old-fashioned football at its best, and that's a Belichick. That's typical Belichick. Well,
absolutely.
There are a ton of stories that we could continue to go over, and the story about the job you did. A lot of people don't realize in the old World League, the WFL, we got you to. Fortunately, you were doing other things administratively with our team in Sacramento, but got you to work with those pass rushers and what you did with Sinclair, for example, and he went back the next year, led the NFL in sacks, which a lot of people don't realize, with Seattle. Anyway, I'd like to get into all that and some more, Jack, and would really like your input on the Gators here when you get a chance to go up and take a look at them.
I will. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I thank you again for your time, and we will be talking to you again in the not-too-distant future.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, hug Mary Jack's neck.
Will do, buddy. Okay.
All right, that's Jack Youngblood joining us right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. We're going to take a quick timeout. It is our final timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show and get everything underway that we need to get you set for Stephen A. Smith. It's coming up next at the top of the hour right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Hulu's paying Tobin Heath, Carly Lloyd, Mallory Pugh, and other U.S. soccer stars a lot of money to do a new goal celebration called Hulu Has Live Sports. Why? It's simple. Because Hulu has live sports. You can watch the biggest games and sporting events like the Women's World Cup this summer on 60-plus top channels. No cable required. Plus, you can stream the entire Hulu library. Start your free trial of Hulu today. Live TV plan required. Restrictions apply. Learn more at hulu.com.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. If you're tailgating before the game, don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome back into Talk Football with Coach K. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K, and we are having fun on this Monday afternoon. Welcome back in. Hope your work week is off to a great start. I know you're probably off on lunch. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're listening off of our website or off of the online stream or maybe the HD radio or just regular 94.5 FM. But, Coach, right there, that was a great interview there with Jack Youngblood. A lot of great stories there, breaking his leg, still playing in the postseason there inside the NFL. Not something you see a lot in today's league.
No, and there were a lot of personal type things, but Jack has a very interesting career, and it's good to go back and talk about these things because there are a lot of things that people don't realize or they find interesting that they never thought about before. But being the fifth greatest, being elected as the fifth greatest all-time Gator, that's it goes back to quite a ways. There's been a lot of people that have played football down there. You think about it, to be the fifth. And think of 4 more, only 4 ahead of him, and who they might be, and it gives you an idea that you could think of probably 10 or 20 more, but they are not there. They're behind him. So, and anyway, just kind of interesting the stories about the Gatorade, and I can certainly sympathize with him there, and some of the stories that kind of get a kick out of, but I won't go into all that again, but. He's a great guy and a lot of fun to have on. I look forward to having him on again.
All right, Coach. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun when he does come on. It was interesting hearing these stories about the Gatorade in its infancy when they were still creating it and working on it, making you guys try it out as the guinea pigs there at University of Florida. But, Coach, like you mentioned, being that high on the list of all-time greats, you take a look at some of the players that have played at Florida. Like you said, it's just an absolutely incredible accomplishment to be listed inside the top 5. All right, Coach, I want to take a look at some players inside the NFL right now that either are looking to get a new deal or could be looking to get a new deal. Coach, I almost kind of want to play a deal or no deal in the sense of I want to bring the player up to you, and then I want you to kind of give your best estimate of whether they'll sign a deal or they may actually not get a deal done and enter free agency. And, Coach, we'll start off with Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. In my mind, you look at this, the situation right now for the Cowboys, you've got to get Dak Prescott not only signed but on a deal that's going to keep him happy, because you don't want to sign and then have him request for a trade later down the road because he's actually not happy with the contract, because he is the quarterback position for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, they're going to get a deal done. I agree with you. But here's the caveat in the whole Dak Prescott scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that the Cowboys are certain that he's their quarterback of the future.
Okay.
Now, he is their quarterback right now.
Right.
And they can't replace him, and they don't have anybody on their roster or anywhere near, and they can't get their hands on one. Okay, so I'm going through all the different possibilities. What if they felt like he's not good enough to win with? They'd be out looking for anybody and everybody. I don't think that's the case. They're not at that extreme, but I don't know that they feel like this is the Andrew Luck or the Peyton Manning of the future. Now, and I would agree with them. Okay, but I think they'll get a deal done. They have to. And what they're concerned about here, what all teams are concerned about, is once the quarterback gets beyond that entry level contract, somebody else has to suffer. Somebody else on your football team, depth, or what you can't sign everybody
right
to everything they want. There's not enough money. So there's where they're trying to get him signed, because they have to right now. They need him at the quarterback position, and they need to try to do it in a way that gives them enough that they can hang on to some other people as well, like Amari Cooper, for example.
All right, Coach, and speaking of the receiver position right there, let's actually move now to the next person on our list. And, Coach, this is another one that you've got to sign this player if you're this team. It's Julio Jones with the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I like the way that Julio Jones, and there are a couple of others in the league, they're going for shorter-term contracts now. And the reason for it is because as the money escalates in their position, and all these guys now, they've got enough money, for crying out loud. It's not the money, it's the respect, they call it.
Right.
Which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Tom Brady doesn't have to have that respect. He plays for a lot less than most of the quarterbacks in the league. He's the best. He's the very best. But good topic of conversation, really. They want it for respect. I think they'll get him. They'll get him signed. They'll get Jones signed, and it'll be for the best deal they can do. But he's gonna continually stay at the highest end of that, because he does short-term contracts.
All right, Coach, and another one here on the list at the receiver position that caught my eye, Michael Thomas with the New Orleans Saints. Right now, Coach, we've talked about it. The New Orleans Saints was one of those teams going into the offseason this year, needed help at the receiver position for Drew Brees. They've got Michael Thomas as the guy for that team right now, so you've got to keep him happy. You've got to keep him signed and keep him in New Orleans, at least until you build up that receiver room a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, I think they want to keep him there for as long as he plays, as long as they can keep him there realistically. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And again, you're talking about he's going to jump from an entry-level contract to now one of the top receiver contracts in the league, because that's where he is. He's one of the most productive receivers in the league, so he's going to get a huge raise. And where does the money come from? It comes from some other people who are looking for some money that they can't pay now.
All right, Coach, and finally here, the last one we're going to discuss, Jadeveon Clowney, the defensive end for the Houston Texans. Coach, he's a young pass rusher. He's got A-level skills, but at the same time, if I'm looking at some of the people that we've named, this is the one that's the shakiest to me on will they actually get a deal done, or will this be a situation where he enters free agency? Because you look at Jadeveon Clowney, Coach, right now, this is an interesting situation when working between he and the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I think it is an interesting scenario. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I think they absolutely want to keep him, but there's a but there, and they're not going to be easily led down the primrose path here and just give him the bank. They're not going to do that, I can promise.
All right, that is all the time we have for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Talk Football with Coach K. Thank you to Jack Youngblood for joining us on today's show. And for Coach K, I'm Jordan Glass. You guys have a great Monday. Sports Drive coming your way later this afternoon at 5 p.m. Stephen A. Smith Show coming up next right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games